Welcome to the Construction World webinar on resetting real estate in Gujarat. This webinar is sponsored by our gold partner Electrotherm and supported by our knowledge partner Housing.com. Our participants on the panel include Mr. Balbir Singh Khalsa, National Director, Knight Frank. Let me show you on the slide. Mr. Dilip Ladani, founder Dilip Ladani Associates and Vice President Rajkot Builders Association. Mr. Viren Mehta, Senior Director, JLL. Mr. Paras Pandit, CMD, Sheetal Infrastructure. Mr. Taral Shah, MD, Shivalik Infrastructure. India is estimated to be sitting on an inventory of 3.7 trillion, 3,70,000 crores by end March 2020, with 4.55 lakh units unsold inventory. Only Ahmedabad's unsold inventory units are projected to be nearly 39,000, constituting 8% of the all India number. So roughly a value of nearly 30,000 crores. Now COVID-19 has brought an air of uncertainty and fear has replaced demand. But as lockdown is ending everywhere and business is beginning to revive, there is a need to know where we are headed and how soon can we get the real estate going, because nearly 6% of our GDP, which is contributed by real estate, is under a lockdown or was under a lockdown. Now labor has unfortunately had to go through very punishing journey back home, and projects are already gearing to get back, so that's another challenge. So to discuss these issues and more, there's our panel which I just mentioned and their profiles. Construction World magazine, the magazine that has brought you this webinar, is 22 years in running, the largest circulated construction magazine in the country, is distributed across 800 cities in India, winner of several awards. And this is its forthcoming issue on the current issue on mega projects. Some of the screenshots of our articles, a variety of articles that we do across projects, across real estate, construction, infrastructure, transportation, so metro, ports, airports, roads, a regular update on that, technology, etc. Our digital services are helping trump challenges even during COVID. So ASAP also has digital services, and there are the contact numbers, etc., given below, whom you can contact in case you require these services. Now, of course, the Gujarat real estate industry has also suffered a big blow. But as per a Housing.com report dated March 2020, developers remain cautious of launching new projects due to the liquidity crisis. This is before COVID. Affordable housing segment, in Ahmedabad alone, it was 68% of the total sale in affordable segment. And we are saying affordable segment is around 45 lakhs. Unsold inventory decreased by 15%, which is good that we were able to decrease the unsold inventory. 26% of Ahmedabad's unsold inventory is in the ready to move in segment. So it's absolutely saleable. Over 67% of the unsold stock is concentrated in the affordable segment, and prices remain stable in the mid to high segment. But interestingly, Chandkheda, Bhopal, Nicole, Vastral, and Navan Naroda were the most active micro markets, contributed nearly 35% of the total sales in 2019. So this and more will be coming up for discussion. So here is a little bit of detail on Ahmedabad. So you can see the launches have come down from 2015, where it was at 34,650. In 2019, the launches are 15,648 par. And So obviously launches have come down. Sales have slightly moved up. You can see between 2018 and 2019, it's gone up more than 15, near about 15% to 25,734 units. Then you can see this very interesting launches, sales and price. So you can see the price has been moving up from 2018 to 2019, all the way up from 2,940 to 3,100. And as we saw, the sales have also gone up, but launches have come down. And obviously, therefore, inventory is down. So you can see inventory is down to 45,704 units. And like the report said, that 26% of this unsold inventory is ready to move in segment. Here are some key developers based upon the number of projects and the units launched by them. I just shared with you this particular statistic. So now what has the government done? The government has unveiled a 140 billion, 14,000 crore ka Gujarat Atmanirbhar package. And there is also a push for real estate sector there. So let's go to our panelists, and let's say, can we now move to, I think I'm taking this question to Mr. Taral Shah, that how has the pandemic and the lockdown affected the sector in terms of deliveries? Mr. Taral Shah, please.
Yeah, Mr. Pratap. Gujarat RERA has given 6-month extension for the projects, which I feel is sufficient time, as normally major Ahmedabad developers keep 3 or 3.5 years timeline for the project. And in that timeline, they keep 3 months buffer. So altogether, we have 9 months. So we can cope up that time, and we have extra 9 months to do the construction. So we don't see much delays except the RERA is given timeline. And like major Ahmedabad project started with almost 30% labor sufficiency post lockdown. And Gujarat being Gujarat construction being major dependent on migrant laborers, gradually they are coming back, and I think in next 2 to 3 months work will be same as pre-COVID. And in today's article, I think everybody has seen that government has given 5,000 crore to 2 crore laborers in these 2 months. But now those freebies are not possible, and everybody has to work for the daily expenses. So like workers will come back. We are getting workers from Rajasthan, some part of Gujarat. Now even the Bihar workers are also coming. So most probably, I don't think much delays will be there.
Have they already come, or are they are still in the process?
No, we have Rajasthan laborers and some part of Gujarat laborers are already working on the project. So for example, we have 30% efficiency as of now.
पारस भाई, आप बताएंगे क्या आपको लगता है ये पैंडेमिक एंड लॉकडाउन की वजह से जितने भी प्रोजेक्ट हमारे अभी अटके पड़े हुए हैं उनको, और ये लेबर सब चले गए हैं, तो उस हिसाब से आपको मतलब क्या इम्पैक्ट हो रहा है हमारे रियल एस्टेट सेक्टर में?
देखिए, रियल एस्टेट को दो तरीके से देखते हैं कि एक रियल एस्टेट जो था वो लॉकडाउन से पहले वाला रियल एस्टेट और लॉकडाउन के अनलॉकडाउन वाला रियल एस्टेट। लॉकडाउन से पहले वाला भी रियल एस्टेट को हम लोग बात करें तो इतना भी अच्छा तब नहीं था कि हम लोग यदि पूरा जो भी अभी है रियल एस्टेट का पूरा कसूर जो है हम लॉकडाउन पे डाल, तो हम ये कहें कि हम यदि मार्च के सिचुएशन में भी आते हैं तो मेरे पार्टनर्स बॉम्बे के हैं या यहाँ गुजरात के हैं, वो भी एक तरह के रियल एस्टेट में जो माहौल चल रहा था वो उससे पहले भी पैनिक था ही। अब स्पेशली जब लॉकडाउन के बाद की बात करें तो जो अभी पैनिक आया है वो आया है लेबर्स में और फाइनेंस में भी। अब लेबर्स में पैनिक इस तरह से आया है कि जैसे कि हमारे कई प्रोजेक्ट पर लेबर्स जो थे वो मई के स्टार्ट तक तो थे ही, पर उसके बाद जो है गवर्नमेंट की कुछ पॉलिसी आई कि हम लोग इनको फ्री ले जा रहे हैं या वॉट एवर जो था, तो करीबन 350 लेबर्स जो कि 2 महीने तक हमने जिनको खिलाया पिलाया तगड़ा किया, अब उसको जो है सरकार उसको फ्री में ही ले गई। तो लेबर के जो कॉन्ट्रैक्टर हैं वो भी ये चाहते थे पारस भाई उनको जायान दो, हम जितना बनेगा उतना जल्दी वापस आ जाएंगे। तो कई बार हम ये बात कर रहे हैं कि भाई सिर्फ लेबर का ही कसूर नहीं था, कई बार जो गवर्नमेंट की पॉलिसीज अनसर्टिनिटी थी ज्यादा थी, क्योंकि गवर्नमेंट जो डिसीजन ले रही थी और पॉलिसीज उसमें एड ऑन कर रही थी वो उनको ही नहीं पता चल रहा था कि आज क्या कर रहे हैं कल क्या कर रहे हैं। जब कोई भी स्टेट से लेबर को आप इतने टाइम तक रखते हो और जब वो कोविड के लिए पक जाते हैं तब उनको बाहर भेजते हो तो दूसरे स्टेट को भी इफेक्ट होती है। रियल एस्टेट कभी भी जो है वो प्योर लैंग्वेज में बोला नहीं जाता है, हमेशा उसका कोई भी डेवलपर होता है या वॉट एवर होता है वो उसको हमेशा अपने सेक्टर को डर डर के प्रेजेंट करता है। हम लोग ने जब पहला वेबिनार किया था अप्रैल के स्टार्ट में, तब भी हमने यही बोला था कि ये जो गवर्नमेंट फैसिलिटी और सब कुछ दे रही है ये सिर्फ तुमको जो है ये थोड़ा सा फाइनेंस और बैंकिंग के लिए जो टाइम दिया है, इसके अलावा आप इससे कोई एक्सपेक्टेशन न रखिए। आखिरकार हम उसी जगह पे बैठे हैं कि जो आपको मॉनिटरियल पीरियड के सिवा इस सेक्टर को कुछ नहीं दिया गया। तो इस सेक्टर के बारे में जो भी जितने भी डेवलपर्स हैं, पूरे इंडिया की बात करें या गुजरात की बात करें, इनको हमेशा अपने आप ही करना पड़ेगा और अपने आप ही हर एक डिसीजन लेने पड़ेंगे। अब रही
पारस भाई,
बात के, हाँ प्लीज।
हाँ नहीं, मैं आपसे पूछना चाहता था कि लेबर तो अब आएगा वापस, मतलब थोड़े वक्त में आएगा लेकिन थोड़ी देर में आएगा, लेकिन आप लोगों की कॉस्टिंग तो अफेक्ट हो गई ना, मतलब जैसे जो आप पे करते थे लेबर को पहले और अब जो आपको पे करना पड़ेगा, इसमें तो काफी फर्क आ जाएगा।
मैं उसी पे पॉइंट रख रहा था कि अब लेबर कॉस्ट भी हमारी बढ़ रही है एज वेल एज फाइनेंस कॉस्ट भी हमारी बढ़ रही है, बिकॉज ऑफ 2 महीने में हमारा कलेक्शन आया है नील। यानी हम लोगों को आज की तारीख में भी 1 महीना होने आया, हमारे जो कलेक्शन डिपार्टमेंट हैं उनको हाथ जोड़ के रिक्वेस्ट करके पहले तो हमारा कस्टमर को स्टेबल रखना पड़ रहा है। हम उससे कलेक्शन तो आज मांग ही नहीं पा रहे हैं, हम उसको यही बोल रहे हैं कि भाई हम आपके साथ हैं और घर में कैसे हैं, और यही बात कर रहे हैं। क्योंकि किसी के भी कस्टमर के साथ यदि हम कलेक्शन वाले टॉपिक पे आते हैं तो वो सीधा ही जो कितने रियल एस्टेट के क्या मालूम, हम उसको बोले कि उन्होंने बोला है कि रियल एस्टेट कम आएगा, माइनस आएगा, सस्ता मिलेगा। तो सस्ता कहाँ से देंगे? यानी जो जानकार विद्वान लोग जो हैं वो रियल एस्टेट के बारे में या हमारी इंडस्ट्रीज के बारे में जो राय देते हैं, तो आज मैं भी उनसे ये सुनना चाहता हूं कि हम लोग सस्ता कैसे देंगे जब आप लोग जान रहे हैं कि मेरा लेबर कॉस्ट ज्यादा हो रहा है, फाइनेंस कॉस्ट 2 महीना बंद हुआ, 3 महीना बंद हुआ, मेरे पे इंटरेस्ट का इंटरेस्ट लगाया जा रहा है, नया फाइनेंस जिस बैंकों में पड़ा हुआ है वो फाइनेंस मेरा रिलीज नहीं कर रहे हैं। द रीजन ऑफ खाली इतना ही, जो गवर्नमेंट ने हमारे पे एक ऑब्लिगेशन की है, जिनको मॉनिटरियल पीरियड दिया है वो भी बैंक ये बोल रहे हैं कि आपने लिया क्यों। तो ये कॉस्टिंग जो है ये ज्यादा जा रही है, लेबर प्रॉब्लम है, फिर भी हमारा सेक्टर का डेवलपर डट के मुकाबला कर रहा है और आज भी हंस के बात कर रहा है।
नहीं, अभी अभी मिनिस्टर पीयूष गोयल और मिस्टर दीपक पारेख ने कहा था कि बिल्डर्स अपना प्राइस कम करें तो अब जितना भी बेच सकते हैं इन्वेंट्री है उतना बेच सकते हैं। क्या लगता है आपको,
बिल्कुल,
प्राइस कम कर सकते हैं?
पीयूष गोयल जी ने जो बढ़िया जो बात कही है उसका जवाब मेरे ख्याल से हीरानंदानी साहब ने दिए ही थे, जो बॉम्बे के हिसाब से था कि भाई एक काम करिए, आप जो है वो जनवरी का रेट कम कर दीजिए और हम लोग आपको कम कर लेंगे। बरोबर, हम भी बोल रहे हैं कि बैंक जो है वो 7% के हिसाब से हमारा रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट घटा दे। अभी ही एक बैंक ने जो है हमको एक गिफ्ट में दिया है 1% बढ़ा के कि लो पारस भाई, आप लगता है आपके चेहरे से आप तकलीफ में नहीं लग रहे हो, तो हम आपको 1% और बढ़ा देते हैं रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट।
ठीक है वीरेन, आई थिंक
नहीं
वीरेन
प्रताप
वांट्स टू
जी,
से समथिंग।
Yeah, इसमें this is in line of the discussion you mentioned about Deepak Parekh, and I also heard and seen the interview of Uday Kotak ji also. What he wanted to mention by the reducing price is that that the inventory which is lying unsold, okay, on that a developer is paying interest. Those inventory you should consider of reducing, because ultimately you are paying interest also on that particular inventory. Those inventory only you should consider if there is a scope of reduction. It is not that the statement is being read that way, that the real estate prices are reducing.
Wherein you see 45,000 units are lying unsold, 26% are ready only. That means around 30,000 units are still to be made. Paras bhai is saying कि अभी input cost ज़्यादा बढ़ गया है, interest बढ़ गया है, labor का cost बढ़ गया है. How are you going to complete that at lower cost?
Agree. The cost
Right, okay.
is the major impact.
Right, Balbir Singh ji,
Yeah.
may I have your views on this? What has been the impact?
See, if you really see, before COVID also, you had 4 mega regulatory changes, like demonetization, or you had RERA, and you had other big aspects, So before this also, there was a good pain for the real estate industry, So after COVID coming in, now if we say that the developer should sell it off at a cheaper price, because where is the margin for the developer there, that they can reduce by 20%. I doubt any developer is earning today 20%. 20% discount तब होता है जब 20% कमाए कोई आदमी, right? So when the profit is not there, and if you really see the average cost in Ahmedabad, it's right from 2,000 rupees to 6,000 rupees, the maximum 90% of the product. It's not like Mumbai where the product is selling at 30,000 or 40,000 rupees. So we are talking in a market where the market rates are from 2,000 rupees in Vastra and all those places, and maybe it's 5,000-6,000 rupees in the balance part. So I doubt there is enough margin to be given as discount, which is available with the developer. And with the cost going up in the finance and the cost also going up on the labor cost, I doubt there is any margin available to further discount it as far as Ahmedabad city or Gujarat is concerned. Yes, if any developer decides to do losses, then yes, if you want to close his door and wants to just sell it off, and then that's the only approach which can happen otherwise. So I doubt for a healthy business any discount, 5% or 2% here and there. What typically developers should be already giving that. Case to case basis they should be already giving that, and just to sustain and retain those clients. So beyond that, I doubt any margin is today available as far as Gujarat is concerned.
Okay. Coming back to दिलीप भाई, आपको लगता है ये सब मटेरियल्स में कोई प्रॉब्लम्स है? एक तो लेबर ने, पारस भाई ने बताया कि लेबर में ये प्रॉब्लम्स हैं आने के लिए, तरल भाई ने बताया मटेरियल्स में जैसे सीमेंट है, स्टील है, इक्विपमेंट है, इन चीजों को वापस जो आप रीस्टार्ट कर रहे हैं अभी लॉकडाउन खत्म होने के बाद, इन चीजों में इन चीजों को मिलने की या उनकी प्राइसेस के में आपकी तकलीफें कुछ है?
हाँ, डेफिनेटली, क्योंकि रियल एस्टेट में मोर देन 100 मटेरियल का एप्लीकेशन है। तो आफ्टर लॉकडाउन जो माल साइट पे पड़ा था वही 15 दिन के हमने साइट ऊपर काम किया। बाद में जो मटेरियल का प्रोडक्शन जो फैक्ट्री यूनिट में था, तो वो सप्लाई ट्रांसपोर्टेशन की दिक्कत थी, इसलिए जो सप्लाई वहाँ से फैक्ट्री से आया था तो उनका एप्लीकेशन हमने साइट ऊपर मटेरियल का किया। बाद में अभी उन फैक्ट्री में भी स्किल और अनस्किल लेबर का प्रॉब्लम है, इसलिए वहाँ भी मटेरियल का जबरदस्त प्रोडक्शन नहीं हुआ, इसलिए साइट ऊपर कम मटेरियल आ रहा है। और इंटर स्टेट कनेक्टिविटी भी ट्रांसपोर्टेशन की कम है, इसलिए साइट पे मटेरियल ज्यादा नहीं आ रहा है, इसलिए साइट ऊपर का स्पीड कम कंस्ट्रक्शन एक्टिविटी चल रही है। इसलिए अभी वही इफेक्ट ज्यादा कॉस्टिंग ने भी ज्यादा इफेक्ट किया है, इसलिए ऑल मटेरियल आर इफेक्टेड टू कंस्ट्रक्शन एक्टिविटी।
There is a complete
What about price?
Supply chain.
डेफिनेटली प्राइस, मटेरियल, लेबर की कॉस्ट बढ़ा, और मे बी अभी गवर्नमेंट जो एमएसएमई और दूसरी मटेरियल कंपनी को बेनिफिट और लोन के हिसाब से और इनकम टैक्स में और जीएसटी में बेनिफिट पास ऑन करेंगे तो वहाँ रेट कम होगा तो रेट कम मटेरियल में आएगा तो कंस्ट्रक्शन कॉस्ट कम दिखाई देगा। लेकिन आप देख रहे हैं कि डीजल का भी प्राइस बढ़ गया तो डायरेक्टली इफेक्टेड रियल एस्टेट में ऑल ईच एंड एवरी आइटम में आएगा कॉस्टिंग में। तो घटने की कोई बात दिखती ही नहीं है, कोई सवाल ही नहीं है कि कंस्ट्रक्शन कॉस्ट पे रेट कटेगा।
Yes, Karal bhai, what have you got to say on the same matter?
Yeah, I'm in different opinion. We have all the major cement plants in Gujarat, like Ultratech have 3 plants, Ambuja has a plant, JK Lakshmi have a plant, Sanghi is also there. Then some smaller companies, cement companies are also working in Gujarat. And there was an article, top 3 Indian cement companies had sold more cement in retail area in May 2020 than in May 2019 in rural area of Gujarat. The reason is very clear. The reason is the small companies could not manage supply because of logistic issues and sort of cash flows. And we have some good companies as well of steel companies in Gujarat. Like one of the best company we are using ET, the gold partner of our event today.
Yeah,
So
ETTMT, yes.
yeah. So I think we are using 90-95% ET in our projects, and their supply was constant. There was no problem. And the ceramic, so like Morbi has a big ceramic hub. So locally we can get the material. So material was not a problem for us, but the problem was labor.
Right. So what about the pricing of the materials? Was that not a problem?
It's not.
Because right in
It
the
has not.
beginning, because let me
It
remind you,
increased,
right,
I guess. Yeah.
right in the beginning when the lockdown was just about opening, the cement prices had gone through the roof for a temporary period.
It was for 10 days, not more than 10 days.
Otherwise, the prices have not really sort of hurt your business model in any form. They have not been
Not as of
significant.
now. Not much.
Okay. So, I think one other thing is that, we also saw, and I want to come back to Viren about, the launches. Why were the launches coming down in the last year while the prices and all? If you want, I will play that slide again. You can see that slide.
Yeah, so I'm aware about this. I can give you the number which is being published by RERA. I can tell you that residential unit in 18-19 were 1,45,000, and in 19-20 it has reduced to 1,37,000. I'm talking about residential number of unit. And
That's all
so this is a 6%. That's the entire Gujarat, and this is a 6% decrease in terms of the number of units being launched. This, and specifically when we talk about Ahmedabad, there is a surge of 17%. So there was 38,000 unit was launched in 18 and 19, and in 19-20 it has launched 45,000 units. This I am talking about the RERA, which has published the unit. There is a 2019-20. Okay, so there is a slight decrease in terms of commercial projects. So commercial generally being monitored based on a number of square feet. So number of square feet, if I talk about 2018-19 was 7 million square feet, and in 19-20 it has come down to 6,50,000 roughly. So there is a reduction of 7% in terms of the commercial projects comes in. Total project, if we talk about today, that has been registered under RERA is around 7,200 odd projects I'm talking about. That includes comprise of all, and out of this 32% are from Ahmedabad, and 80% falls into the residential. If we talk about only residential, and out of this residential, almost 60, 70, 65 odd percentage falls under affordable this thing. So if we talk about why the supply and launches have reduced, So basically, you know, it is real estate industry is affected not now because of COVID. You know, if you actually go back last 4-5 years, you know, previous to COVID, you know, we were affected badly real estate because of this NBFC crisis. Before that, we had the issue of RERA, GST, demonetization, and all this process. No doubt it is good because government is taking good initiative when it comes to, you know, RERA, strengthening processes and all. So what happens is the B category or a C category developer who are not organized, or the people who are functioning unprofessional, they are simply, you know, out of the system, because, you know, the RERA process is so very stringent that, you know, people have to park certain amount of fund in the escrow amount, and, you know, that money is to be utilized only for the project purpose. Only 20% only a developer can utilize for themselves or so. So, and hence, you know, the consolidation process takes place, and, you know, that is how, if you see, the genuine professional people will remain in the system. When we talk about pricing, you know, in Ahmedabad specifically, if I talk about, you know, 15 years back, if you talk about, there was only one high street, that was the CG Road. There also today, as of now, because now the high street has moved, Ahmedabad has moved from you know, east to west. So now it is SG Road, and, you know, so on and so forth. You know, east to west it is getting developed. There also today the office space is getting sold between 6,000 to 7,000. Today, even after 15 years, you know, also it is office space available between 6,000 to 7,000. So the pricing, you know, generally by and large, if it goes beyond, generally because of Ahmedabad, you know, it grows horizontally. Unlike Mumbai, it grows vertically. So the pricing are, first of all, not increasing much because there is just land available wherein the people would like to go a bit far from the city, and they would like to pay lesser amount. So you know, these are the bigger challenge. Apart from this, what developer are facing is a demand. Second is the working capital and the cash flow and the labor. So these are the key issue, you know, which generally, if you look at the developer before COVID also, was a very difficult situation wherein, you know, the real estate was going through.
Right. तो पारस भाई, आपसे पूछना है कि ये अभी चीफ मिनिस्टर साहब ने गुजरात और आत्मनिर्भर पैकेज अनाउंस किया है, तो उससे आपको क्या लगता है, रियल एस्टेट में फायदा होगा?
देखिए, आत्मनिर्भर का और मैं मानता हूँ रियल एस्टेट का इतना ज्यादा मुझे इफेक्ट नहीं लग रहा है, क्योंकि आत्मनिर्भर पैकेज में जो अमाउंट है, जो वो रियल एस्टेट जो भी अफोर्डेबल भी है, उसमें इतना इम्पैक्ट नहीं है। क्योंकि उससे पहले भी आप देखिए कि प्रधानमंत्री आवास योजना है या ATIB स्कीम है या जो भी है, ये सब ऑलरेडी गुजरात के अफोर्डेबल रियल एस्टेट में ऑलरेडी चल रहा है। अभी जो मार्केट में एज पर द आज के सिनारियो पे हम बात करें तो रियल एस्टेट जो अफोर्डेबल भी बिचने के लिए है, उसमें मेरे पास अभी कितने ऐसे न्यूज आए हैं कि जो अफोर्डेबल में कस्टमर्स ने लोन लिए हैं, वो भी लोन उनको अभी की तारीख में वो रिलीज नहीं हो पा रहे हैं। द रीजन ऑफ के आज जो उसको कंपनी से सैलरी मिल रहा है, वो शायद वो 50% या 60%, 65%, 75% अमाउंट पे रहा है। तो उस केस पे यदि कस्टमर यदि कोई भी अफोर्डेबल प्रॉपर्टी के लिए भी जा रहा है, और या तो छोटी सी प्रॉपर्टी के लिए भी जा रहा है, तो उसका बैंक के बेस पे जो आ रहा है लोन अमाउंट, वो उनको गिन रहे हैं। क्योंकि ये लोग जान रहे हैं कि जो लास्ट सैलरी आपका है, उस बेस पे आपको लोन दिया जाता है। जो लास्ट 3 सैलरी काउंट करते हैं, तो उसमें से 1 या 2 सैलरी 65% और 75% की आ रही है। तो उस बेस पे भी कस्टमर भी रियल एस्टेट को खरीदने के लिए फेस कर रहा है, और एज यूजुअल इस डेवलपर भी उस प्रॉपर्टी को सोल्ड करने के लिए फेस कर रहा है। तो अभी जो आत्मनिर्भर वाले जो हम पैकेज की बात कर रहे हैं, तो इतना इफेक्टेड जो है आज की तारीख में, उसको हम नहीं बोल सकते कि उसका कोई इफेक्ट रियल एस्टेट पे आना चालू हो गया हो।
Okay, Viren, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, so Pradap, what I would like to highlight specifically for this 14,000 crore of package. Okay, so no doubt this is a package. This is not the meaning that 14,000 crore government has given to the real estate, and from there the real estate industry is booming. Now this 14,000 crore actually it is split into three major aspects. One is tax relief, second is the subsidiary on capital investment, third is the interest payment. Now, if you look at by and large this 14,000, if you break it down, okay, just I would like to highlight one or few points so we will understand that there is too little given to the real estate, and if we are expecting that 14,000 because of that the real estate will have a boom effect, that's a big question. Now, what they are saying, government, the package, they are saying that 1,000 crore has been allotted to 1,60,000 affordable unit. And now this, we are talking about 1,000 crore, 1,60,000 of this is 1,000 crore is a subsidy. That means 21,800 per house. How that will impact to boost the real estate? That's the question. Now, what government is saying that because of this, the tribal people will go develop the house in the village and they'll be able to live there. Second, Atmanirbhar One scheme they launched, and they were offering to small trader, middle class people, and the laborer 1 lakh rupees, and then subsequently in scheme 2 they've increased to 2.5 lakh rupees. So what they are saying is that you take 2.5 lakh rupees, 4% you will have to pay, 4% will be paid by the government. Now what they are saying is still the people who are the laborer, they are the small trader, they have not started the business. They will have to take 100 rupees, pay 4 rupees, and 4 rupees subsidy will be given by the bank. So first of all, here the city is locked down completely. People are not going making money, but still they will have to take 100 rupees, pay 4 rupees. No doubt, government is paying subsidy of 4 rupees, but still, will that give a boost to the real estate is a question. The biggest benefit, the direct cash given, that amount was allotted 4,375. That means 1,000 crore, 1,000 rupees they have deposited directly cash in the need-based people of their account. Apart from that, they have given 300 crore, wherein they are giving 62 lakhs family, 12 kg of tur dal. So 1,000 crore plus 300 crore. So they are talking about 62 lakhs family. That means per family of around 480 rupees. So 1,000 plus 480, roughly 1,500 rupees they have given. Plus farmer 410 crore they are giving interest-free loan. Now they are talking about that 4%, 7% will be charged on that, 4% will be paid by the state government, 3% will be paid by the central government. So if that is 410 crore, and they are talking about number of farmer they've identified around 24 lakhs in Gujarat. Now we're talking about 1,700 rupees in terms of interest subsidy. So what we are talking about, that is that significant given to the people will boost the real estate? That's again is a question. What another benefit they are talking about is the property tax. The small retail guy will get a benefit of 20% on whenever, if they'll have to pay 100 rupees, they'll have to pay 80 rupees. So by and large, what I would like to convey is that the government has done too little. No doubt they have been taking proactive measures, but this doesn't have a larger impact that it will boost the economy.
Parul bhai, what do you have to say? Will this have any the real estate portion? Will this have impact? See, one thing we must remember that 35% of the sale of 2019 came from the smaller and marginal places within Gujarat. So if that is the case, then this money going into that areas, will that have really any effect?
See, Gujarat real estate rates were already affordable compared to other big cities. So even in bullish market, our rates were much competitive. So we did not make big profits in good time. Even in today, we are not in big losses because we don't have that margin to do some discounts. So first of all, all Gujarat is quite safe, and we have facility for ease of doing business. And we have large-scale pharma companies here. In last decade, we became the auto hub of India, and now the PM Vision GIFT City is going to be developed in future. Surat has a good textile and diamond hub. So once people migrate in Gujarat and spend there at least 10 years or 1 decade, they permanently buy their own house here. And we have a huge NRG investment as a real estate is a favorite asset class investment. So I don't see a big loss of demand in future, and inventory is also coming down.
Okay. So let's move to the other avenue of real estate, which is FDI, foreign investment, NRI purchases. So Mr. Balbir Singh, will you tell us what you think is the sort of, because we've had very good growth in the past from NRIs purchasing within Gujarat. What do you see the trend?
Yeah, see, if you really see, Gujarat is almost like number 4 or 5 in India where it attracts FDI. So Gujarat attracts, last year it attracted around 43,000 crores of FDI, compared to 12.5 in the previous year. So 40,000 crores is a decent to 40% jump. So, but Maharashtra typically attracts like 70,000 to 80,000 crores of FDI compared to that. If you really see Karnataka attracts around 60 to 65,000 FDI. So in FDI, yes, we are going strong, and we need to maintain that number in Gujarat, and we need to grow that number. But that will come from the more and more steps from the government, which is ease of business and promoting industries and everything, so that more and more people invest in the manufacturing unit, and basically they put more capex into that. But if you really see in NRI segment, NRI investment in India is typically around 13 odd billion dollars, which is tentative to happen in 2021. Which is compared to, if you really see in 2014, it was around $6 billion. So you can see there's a growth of 10 to 11% each year, CAGR of 10 to 11% each year in NRI investment. And this kind of investment is actually much bigger compared to what foreign private equity fund is coming in real estate. So NRI today is a big chunk, you can say, in real estate, and many more investment comes into Gujarat is because Gujarat, you can say more than NRI, I call it the NRGs, which are the non-resident Gujaratis. They invest quite a lot because there's an emotional connect. Plus, there is a very big uncertainty in the world market, and so it makes sense to buy flats or land in their motherland. But all those who can buy NRIs or any Indian origin, but the foreigners cannot buy here. So there is a big demand in Gujarat because Gujarat is safe, the government is stable, we have the good infrastructure, we have right industrial mix, we have large industries, we have small industries, we have all the ports. So if you really see the ecosystem of Gujarat, it's well established. So yes, NRIs, people can be attracted, that money can be attracted, and typically Gujarat has a good share in NRI investment. And I think it will continue, because Gujarat has all the points to attract NRI investment.
Pratapji, during the lockdown, Taral has, one point. During the lockdown, Shivalik Taral Group has sold 2 apartments to NRI. During the lockdown, when everything was locked, right, Taral bhai?
Yes.
So that's the strength.
Yeah, I wanted to add something. Prices are not much rising, even though if survey says it's increasing. But developers' margins has decreased. Construction cost increased almost 15% due to GST input credit. They are waived off. So either government takes money or landowner makes more profit. So we are at the same level. And new projects launches are drastically reduced because all the developers want to finish what they have started. And from last few months, banks and NBFC stopped funding and the other side, all the financial institutions considering lowest NPA in real estate. So everybody wanted to reduce their own debt. In Gujarat, all major cities comes under tier 2 and tier 3 cities, and they are very least leveraged companies compared to other big cities. So now Gujarat developers are self-reliant. So our scale is not that large, and supply is also reasonable compared to other big cities.
So Dilip bhai, Taral bhai बोल रहे हैं कि builders तो already आत्मनिर्भर हैं. They are least leveraged. They are depending more on अपने आप पर ज़्यादा आप बताइए वहां पर आपका मतलब फॉरेन एंड नॉन रेजिडेंट गुजरातीज का इन्वेस्टमेंट वहां भी आ रहा है आपके राजकोट में?
यस यस डेफिनेटली। यहाँ पे राजकोट में इन्वेस्टमेंट अभी एनआरआई का डे बाय डे आफ्टर कोविड इम्प्रूवमेंट ज्यादा हुआ है। और दूसरी बात तरल भाई ने बोला है कि डेफिनेटली कंस्ट्रक्शन कॉस्ट तो बढ़ेगा ही, इसलिए कंस्ट्रक्शन का कॉस्ट रिड्यूस होने की कोई सवाल ही नहीं। दूसरी बात रियल एस्टेट में यही है कि हमारे लैंड की कोई प्रोडक्शन नहीं है। लैंड तो जो जगह पे है वही जगह पे रहने वाली है, उनका कॉस्टिंग तो घटने वाला लोकेशन के हिसाब से पॉसिबिलिटी ही नहीं है कि वो लैंड कॉस्ट घटेगा। वो आउटस्कट जहाँ पे रहेगा तो वहां पे लैंड कॉस्ट में करेक्शन आएगा, लेकिन सिटी एरिया में, रेसिडेंस एरिया में और कॉमर्शियल एरिया में लैंड कॉस्ट रिड्यूस होने कोई चांसेस नहीं है। એટલે કન્સ્ટ્રક્શન કોસ્ટ રિડ્યુસ કરને ના કોઈ दिखाई नहीं देता कि कम कॉस्ट रहेगा।
चलिए, let us do one audience poll. Let us find out what the audience thinks. How do they evaluate a builder and developer? So audience, can you please look at your panel? You will see a question, and the question is you have to choose the one most applicable answer. How do you evaluate a builder developer? So the choices are whether his last project faced delays, whether his last project commands a high price, publicity of the project, or quality of construction, or his reputation. Which of the 5 options is the most important for you when you evaluating a builder developer? So abhi hum log in some few seconds we will know what the audience thinks. I think we are close to getting the answer now. Okay. Yeah, so the so builder's reputation, quality of construction is the single most important area. 53% of the audience feels that quality of construction is important, and the second most important is builder's reputation. I think these are the two key elements of what the audience thinks are important. So we have seen what is the sense of the audience in this matter. So I want to, since we were mentioning about RERA, I want to say that now the center has asked that there is because of COVID around 6,746 projects, along with I think they were by mid-March, and they have extended the guideline, which Taral Bhai also mentioned, and he said that there is no need to extend this further, right? So I'm saying that first of all, there is one basic issue within the entire guideline process is your ready reckoner. Is that any reason to be causing any kind of a disturbance in terms of pricing, stamp duty, or any other elements of your property registration, etc.? Is ready reckoner creating any issue, Mr. Taral Shah?
No, as of now, we don't have that issue in Gujarat. That is, I think, major issue in I think Maharashtra. So ready reckoner prices is not an issue here.
So the pricing of, let's say, the land, because land acquisition obviously is applicable everywhere. You are buying land, or anybody is acquiring land based on 4 times the market value, and that is for government projects, etc. Does that cause any difference to your land when you are purchasing land before you're launching any project?
No, actually not.
Okay, so that's not any concern. But RERA is now seeking more stringent specifications. So is there any concern on that area?
Yeah, they are implementing a new RERA, and they call it RERA 2.0. So it was supposed to implement from 26th of June, But yesterday, more than I think 100 plus developers went to RERA office and they requested the authority at least give us some time. Lockdown has just opened up, so we need at least 1 or 2 months time to understand the new RERA norms. So government has given 1 month time. So we have 1 month time, so we can input all the projects in older RERA version. And the new version we have observed, it is more specific and more compliant. Like you need to give contractors details, specification of the raw materials. So it's not difficult for organized and quality conscious developers, but yes, it's not easy for everyone and small scale developers.
Right. पारस भाई, आप रेरा का जो नए रेगुलेशन आए हैं जिसमें क्या मटेरियल आप यूज करने वाले हैं, क्या ब्रांड आप यूज करने वाले हैं, क्या स्पेसिफिकेशन यूज करने वाले हैं, हर चीज को धीरे धीरे वो चाहते हैं कि आप लोग डिटेल करें ताकि जो आपने लिखा है, जो आपने सबमिट किया है वही यूज हो और वही कस्टमर को मिले. आपका क्या कहना है इसके बारे में, इतने जो ये स्ट्रिक्ट बना रहे हैं?
ये रेरा जो स्ट्रिक्ट बना रहा है, सबसे पहले तो मैं इससे 100% सहमत हूँ, क्योंकि जो क्वालिटी बिल्डर्स हैं या क्वालिटी डेवलपर्स हैं वो उसके लिए ये चीज मायना ही नहीं रखता, क्योंकि कोई भी क्वालिटी बिल्डर्स है, चाहे वो गुजरात का हो, चाहे बॉम्बे का हो या कहीं का भी हो, वो हमेशा उस वैल्यू को ध्यान रखता है कि हम लोग जो हैं कस्टमर की जिंदगी की कमाई हुई पूंजी को हम लेते हैं, तो उस पूंजी को हम जो कमिट कर रहे हैं उसको हम लोग उसी तरह से सर्व करें. तो यदि हमसे रेरा ये सब चीजें मांगता है तो हम लोग को और वो मिलेगा कि भाई आज हम कस्टमर से और ज्यादा ऑन पेपर भी क्लियर हुए और ऑन डिस्प्ले भी क्लियर हुए, क्योंकि जब हम कोई चीज कमिटमेंट करते हैं कस्टमर को तो शायद हमारे कम्युनिकेशन में, हमारे बीच में हमारे स्टाफ और सब कुछ आ जाते हैं, पर ये तो जब हम लोग कस्टमर को रेरा में डिक्लेयर करके दे रहे हैं कि हम आपको ये प्रोडक्ट देंगे, ये देंगे, वो देंगे, जिससे करके क्या है कि जो पीयूष गोयल साहब वाले स्टेटमेंट भी कम आएंगे कि हम लोग 25% प्रोडक्ट को सस्ती बेचना चालू करें. तो ऐसी भी जो है हमको ये तरफ से भी हमको बेनिफिट मिलेगा कि पॉलिटिशियन या जो भी हमारे कंसर्न ब्यूरोक्रेट्स हैं उनको एक्चुअल कॉस्ट पता चले कि हम लोग लैंड किस कॉस्ट पे लेते हैं, हम लोग कंस्ट्रक्शन किस कॉस्ट पे करते हैं, हम लोग जो है प्रोडक्ट कौन सी डाल रहे हैं, उसका टोटल कॉस्ट क्या हो रहा है, बैंकें हमसे क्या इंटरेस्ट वसूल रही है, उसके बाद एक एक्स कॉस्ट भी हम लोग ऐड करते हैं, और उसके बाद हम लोग खुद चाहते हैं कि डिपार्टमेंट को और जो हमारे ऊपर लोग पॉलिटिशियन भी बैठे हैं उनको हमारा एक्चुअल वर्किंग स्टाइल भी दिखना चाहिए और हमारी जेब में कितने पैसे आ रहे हैं ये भी इनको देखना चाहिए. तब जाके हमको लगेगा और तब जाके हमको ऐसा लगता है कि जो ऊपर बैठे लोगों को हमारे से तब सहानुभूति चालू होगी कि ये लोग कमा क्या रहे हैं. बेसिकली जो है आप एक सीरियस बताएं कि जब कोई एक डेवलपर एक प्रोडक्ट तैयार करता है उसके साथ उसकी कितनी एफर्ट लगती है, उसको कितनी चैनल से पास होना पड़ता है, उसकी लैंड एक्वायर प्रोसेस से लेके उसके जितने भी कॉन्ट्रैक्टर को संभालने की बात हो या उसमें जितनी भी प्रोडक्ट सिलेक्शन करके और उसको डालने की बात हो, ये सब के बाद यदि मुनाफे की बात करेंगे तो मैं बता रहा हूं कि आज की तारीख में गुजरात रियल एस्टेट वो पूरे इंडिया में नहीं पूरे वर्ल्ड में सबसे कम मुनाफे लेने वाली कंपनियां हैं.
ओके, अच्छा, नाउ डिमांड इज डेफिनेटली अ प्रॉब्लम. So Balbir Singh, what do you think? Would reduction in stamp duty, registration, etc. Can this help in boosting demand?
Yeah, see, if you really see, COVID ने क्या किया है? COVID has actually home buyers के लिए, and one is uncertainty. So if you really see, and because of uncertainty, the sentiments are also down. So you have to basically address these two pain points. So how do you address the pain points? How can the brochure rate can be brought down? Can be the major thing, which is very important to bring back the demand. डिमांड को वापस लाने के लिए rates कम होने चाहिए. So if government takes this step of reducing the stamp duty by half or cut by 60-70%, it can be a good sign. And overall, if the sale boosts, the overall collection will be same. So I don't think government is going to do any losses by doing that. Because if they can bring back the demand, currently if demand is not there, the collection is already very. If they actually bring back the demand, at least they will have some collection. So I believe they should definitely do this step. This step has to be done, because you need to bring back the confidence. You need to bring back the and you need to also make the product affordable. So if you can do that, then it can be a very good step.
Any other suggestion apart from these two?
Maybe yes, one has to force the home somewhere, whatever benefits RBI is given, if you can bring down the home loans below 7%, they already are lingering around 8%. If you can bring them down and increase those benefits which were there earlier when the people used to buy the second flat or the third flat, and when they used to give rent, and if you can do all those things, then the effective rate can come down to 6 or 5%, and that's where the demand will come back. So government definitely has to do all this to bring back the demand, because they had done away with many benefits for the second flat owner and the third flat owner. They need to bring back all those things, and they need to reduce the stamp duty, or they may summing of the stamp duty with GST. If they can do, then nothing like it. But they need to take all these steps, and also regulate the banking sector where they can reduce, because they are getting funding at 4% and 1.5%. Why can't they reduce the home loans below 7%? If they can do that, and that's where, because rentals in the home segment are just 2%. So if you can bring this gap down, then the demand will be back.
Okay. So now work from home is becoming a new reality in COVID. Now, is that going to change the way we prefer homes? Will people buy bigger homes because they think कि भाई office भी home में होना चाहिए, because that kind of a space needs to be accommodated? Then you got father, mother, child, everybody having their own, children having their school, other people. So, Viren, what do you think? Is the preference going to shift to a larger home in terms of purchase?
So honestly, yes, because now people have started thinking, because people are living in nuclear family. Husband is also working from home. Wife is also working from home. The important part, if you look at many or largely 1 or 2% people only have their space wherein actually they can, they will have a study room, or they can convert like in a small office. So availability of that space is really very difficult. So definitely, when people now will think of buying an apartment, you would definitely look around 2.5 BHK, 3.5 BHK. That concept have emerged, and people would definitely look for a bigger house for sure, and that is the mindset have already started. On the contrary, there is one more question people would we come across, is that will that have an impact on commercial leasing, because the office people will go for a lesser office space. But what we have seen in last couple of months and week, because we work with larger corporates, and so because of this social distancing, the norms have completely changed. So absolutely, one, on a residential side, people would look for a larger home space. Secondly, the office, they are always take care of their people, and they will have to maintain social distancing. So the structure, because presently we are working with one of the very eminent client, who we have completed the transactions in 2019, and the fit out is going on. There are 2,000 employees. So fit out, what they planned before, after COVID, is completely changed. So they are immediately looking for a larger space as well. So I see, yes, both the way, that people would prefer partly work from home, and same time they would look for a higher space and office space also. Not immediately, obviously we are not seeing the demand, because at this point in time everybody has, it's like when you have your home burned, you will not think of setting your house immediately. You are evaluating the situation for 3 to 4, 5 months. We are seeing bit lull or probably slow, and then obviously subsequently that will increase.
दिलीप भाई, आपका क्या विचार है इसके बारे में? होम वर्क फ्रॉम होम का जो
हाँ,
कॉन्सेप्ट है।
यस यस, मैं इसमें रेसिडेंस के बारे में कहना चाहता हूँ, क्योंकि 4 टाइप ऑफ रेसिडेंस, अफोर्डेबल, मिड सेगमेंट, लग्जरी और सुपर लग्जरी, वो चार सेगमेंट में डेफिनेटली स्क्वायर फीट में एडिशन होगा। 50 स्क्वायर फीट से लेके 600 स्क्वायर फीट का एडिशन होगा फॉर सेगमेंट में, क्योंकि ये ड्यूरिंग लॉकडाउन everybody study all home creativity, so each and every are interested to purchase the time, study the plan or square feet. Each and every person are interested to all direction, इसलिए all direct all अफोर्डेबल सब सेगमेंट में एडिशन स्क्वायर फीट का होगा आफ्टर कोविड।
तो मार्केटिंग
there are many other
yes, I think
Pratap ji, what I was what I was talking about apart from this is there are many other pros and cons when it comes to work. You know, the technology, when you work from home, there are so many challenges. You know, you can't sit completely, you know, on 8 hours, you know, on the screen, and at the same time there is a very thin line between professional life and personal life. You know, the data connectivity issue, and the biggest part is the security of the data and all. You know, you work, your family member, and you know, again, you know, when you are talking, people sitting next to you is listening and all, comfort. So there are many challenges when it comes to working from home. However, you know, we did a small survey also. There are a couple of institutions we have seen, you know, even if the COVID completely gone, they would like to opt for 13 to almost 14% people will work from home. But we don't see that much of the challenge.
So, you know, the thing is that now the builders will have to plan. If people are working from home, maybe you can, like you are providing banquet.
Yeah.
Sound off, please.
Yeah, let me take over. I just wanted to share something. I think Mr. Padoda had some network issues. We were planning one project and we are about to launch post COVID, and now we have taken a pencil in our hand, and it was we are planning 250 apartments in which we are planning to give work from home. So we don't know it's a temporary or it would be a permanent solution. So we are making such a plan that we are giving a work from home room plus a small toilet. So it can be converted to servant room as well and the hobby room. So it can be the multi-purpose area.
So I was just going to come to you about what are the marketing strategies that you are deploying now. Like you just, Viren just said that you had done some sales during lockdown. What strategies are you deploying?
Yeah, we had done good sales in lockdown. Even like post lockdown, we have good numbers of sales. So digital was new normal in lockdown because nobody was going out. We were doing outdoor hoardings, newspaper, but at that time there was no use. So we spent 20 to 25% of our marketing budget on digital marketing, which worked well. And as people were using mobile frequently at that time, so we got good numbers of sales. And we did some virtual tour of our sample houses, so people could see everything from the phone. Our sales team used to do video conferencing, and if needed, the top management was also involved in that period. And we have given the secured rate for 6 months. So even though the rate, if the rate reduced, we'll calculate a reduced rate. So at least they are secured. कि बिल्डर ने रेट कम कर दिया 6 महीने के अंदर, so they don't have to worry कि हमको कि हमने घर महंगा ले लिया यहाँ पे. And the cancellation without and we have given a scheme cancellation without single question asked. So a customer changed his mind that I don't want to buy the home, I lost my job, or I like the other home, so they get the cancellation money without any reduction. So we created a confidence in customers' mind, and it was very important at that time.
दिलीप भाई, आपने कुछ ऐसे स्कीम्स किए हैं लॉकडाउन के दौरान?
Yes, during lockdown also हमने प्लानिंग किया है और विदिन 2 to 3 month हम प्रोजेक्ट भी लॉन्च करने वाले हैं, हाई एंड अपार्टमेंट। आफ्टर कोविड हाई एंड अपार्टमेंट की यहाँ पे पर्टिकुलरली मैं राजकोट की बात कर रहा हूँ, तो अच्छी डिमांड है, क्योंकि सबने ये रेसिडेंस का ऑल ओवर स्टडी किया है। और दूसरा, हमारी पर्टिकुलर मैं राजकोट की बात कर रहा हूँ, तो पूरा विलेज एरिया भी राजकोट का बोर्ड कॉर्पोरेशन का एरिया भी एक्सटेंड किया है, इसलिए अभी रेसिडेंस के लिए तो अच्छी मार्केट आफ्टर कोविड भी दिखाई देती है।
अच्छा, पारस भाई, आपने क्या प्लान किया हुआ है ड्यूरिंग कोविड और लॉकडाउन जैसे खत्म हुआ है तब से? आपने कोई स्कीम्स वगैरह प्लान की हैं?
हाँ, यानी अभी हम लोग जो हैं हमारे डिफरेंट प्रोजेक्ट पे एक अलग अलग वो ला रहे हैं। जैसे अभी कुछ प्रोजेक्ट जो हैं हमारे रेडी स्टेज पे हैं, कुछ प्रोजेक्ट का हम लोग 6 से 7 महीने में या 9 महीने में हम लोग उसको पोजीशन देंगे, BU अप्लाइड हो जाएगा। तो बेसिकली हम लोग भी अभी जो है वो ऑफर लाए हैं कि भाई अभी आप जो है अर्नेस्ट मनी जितना भी 10 और 20% होता है उतना आप भर दीजिए, और जो बैंक से आप लोन लेना चाहते हैं उस बैंक को आप लोन ले लीजिए, और उसके बाद का जो भी आपका इंस्टॉलमेंट आता है, आइदर प्रिंसिपल और आइदर लोन, जहां तक BU आता है और जहां तक आप रहने आ जाते हैं वहां तक का पूरा इंस्टॉलमेंट जो है कंपनी भरेगी। और ऐसे कई हम लोग जो हैं अभी सेल्स एंड मार्केटिंग टीम के साथ हम लोग वर्कआउट कर रहे हैं, जिससे ज्यादा से ज्यादा कस्टमर को हम लोग अट्रैक्ट कर सके। द रीजन ऑफ अभी कस्टमर कोविड से अभी भी पूरी तरीके से बाहर निकला हुआ नहीं है, तो उसको इस माहौल में प्रॉपर्टी के लिए अट्रैक्शन करने के हमको तरीके वही लाने पड़ेंगे कि कम से कम वो इस माहौल में भी प्रॉपर्टी खरीदने के लिए कन्विंस हो रहा है। तो उसको सबसे पहले उसके पैसे की सेफ्टी, दूसरा चीज वो बेस्ट रेट पा रहा है, तीसरा चीज है कि ये माहौल में भी यदि वो प्रॉपर्टी ले रहा है तो इसको फ्यूचर एप्रिसिएशन हमको दिखाना है। क्योंकि कोई भी प्रॉपर्टी का आप 10 साल का सर्वे कर ले, चाहे उसने डीमोनेटाइजेशन में लिया हो या कोई भी माहौल में लिया हुआ प्रॉपर्टी को, यदि हम 10 साल के सर्कल में डालते हैं तो उस प्रॉपर्टी ने उसको अर्न करके दिया ही हुआ है। तो बेसिकली डिफरेंट टाइप ऑफ सेल्स एंड मार्केटिंग में हम लोग जो है कस्टमर्स को कन्विंस करने का कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि गुजरात में कोई भी टाइम हो वो प्रॉपर ही टाइम होता है, और जैसा जैसा टाइम होता है उस तरीके से डेवलपर आपको बेनिफिट देता ही है।
मिस्टर बलबीर सिंह, आप बताइए, सूरत एंड बड़ौदा, व्हाट इज योर व्यू, व्हाट इज हैपनिंग देयर? इज वी हैव हर्ड अबाउट अहमदाबाद, वी हर्ड अबाउट राजकोट.
Surat, I think, is there is huge vacancy, and there is huge unsold stock. So that was there pre-COVID also. So Surat is definitely more stock than Ahmedabad, and I think they definitely had challenges before pre-COVID also. So and there was a problem in Surat. So because there was huge development done in the past 4-5 years, which built up the stock quite a lot, and with the rates not increasing, they always had a problem where the investor fraternity was actually out. Nobody wanted to buy the second or third flat, because too much of investments were happening there. Actual needy population was very less, because Surat is more of migrant workers, and they are all temporary workers who keep on toggling between Surat and Bihar and Surat and UP. Surat had different challenges, because most of the workers in textile and in diamond are from outside, so they are not the local guys there. And typically they are all into rental segment rather than into the purchase segment. Vadodara is always has been a very market which is very sober and a very small market compared to, because the population of Vadodara is just 24-25 lakhs and not much traction is there. So there are all small developers who and do quite a good job because there is a good quality there. The rentals, you can say the rates are also very less. The average rate of the flat in Vadodara is approximately 3,000 rupees. And that's the average at most of the parts of Vadodara. So Vadodara is a very small market compared to Ahmedabad or Surat. It's almost like 30% of the market of Ahmedabad or Surat.
So, so I think both these places or everywhere around, I think the demand is the major issue, and as long as the fear we can reduce the fear and improve the prospects of things getting back to normal, the demand will definitely rise. But probably the government also needs to step in and offer some reliefs wherever they can help push the demand up. So we come to the end of the webinar. Thank you very much, Paras Bhai, Taral Bhai, Dilip Bhai, Mr. Balbir Singh, Viren. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you, audience.
Thank you.
Stay
Thank
safe
you.
and stay healthy. And we wish that
Thank
real
you.
estate sector comes back with great vigor in time to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you.